Seniors over 60, eat this before bed or your muscles will keep disappearing. Shiheng Yi. The undeniable shifts within your own physique, the subtle yet persistent erosion of the physical prowess that once defined your younger years are likely becoming increasingly apparent. That seemingly boundless strength, once taken for granted, now appears to recede with each passing season, replaced by a growing awareness of diminished capacity. This observation is not merely anecdotal, it reflects a profound biological transition that touches the lives of countless individuals as they navigate the later chapters of life. What is presented here will likely profoundly challenge many deeply ingrained assumptions and conventional narratives surrounding the processes of aging and, specifically, the often misunderstood phenomenon of muscle loss. It is imperative to engage with this information until its conclusion, for the insights revealed, particularly the final revelation, have fundamentally reshaped not only my personal understanding and professional approach to the science of longevity, but also possess the inherent potential to profoundly alter the trajectories of thousands of lives who currently perceive the relentless march of time as an unyielding adversary. This isn't merely about extending years, it's about enriching them with sustained vitality and independence. Hidden truth. At this very moment, a significant proportion of seniors, perhaps including many who are reading these words, are quietly contending with a medical condition known as sarcopenia. This insidious process, often referred to as the silent thief, systematically erodes one's physical autonomy by progressively diminishing muscle fiber and overall muscle mass, thereby gradually stealing independence. It manifests not with dramatic symptoms, but with a slow, creeping decline in the ability to perform daily tasks. Lifting groceries, climbing stairs, or simply getting out of a chair becomes an ever-increasing struggle. What often remains uncommunicated by conventional medical practitioners is a crucial and deeply encouraging truth. This relentless progression of muscle degradation is far from the inevitable fate that popular belief and outdated information have led us to accept. For far too long, our societal understanding has passively resigned itself to the notion that muscle loss is an inseparable, regrettable byproduct of the aging process, an unavoidable consequence of simply growing older. However, groundbreaking and meticulously conducted recent research has begun to unravel this long-held misconception, revealing not only a more complex and frankly more troubling reality, but critically also a remarkably empowering pathway forward. Consider for a moment a transformative proposition. What if the hours immediately preceding your nightly sleep represent not just a period of rest, but the single most critical and powerful window of opportunity for actively preserving the hard-earned strength you have painstakingly accumulated over the course of an entire lifetime? And furthermore, what if specific, thoughtfully chosen foods, when strategically consumed within this precise nocturnal time frame, possess the extraordinary capacity to not only dramatically decelerate, but even significantly reverse the very muscle deterioration that is increasingly rendering once simple, everyday activities into formidable, energy-draining challenges. My personal and professional journey over the past 15 years has been dedicated to a rigorous, multidisciplinary exploration of longevity, drawing deeply from the rich, time-honored traditions of Eastern philosophies and practices, while simultaneously engaging with the cutting-edge scientific advancements emerging from Western research institutes. This immersive study involved working collaboratively with both venerable traditional healers whose wisdom spans generations and pioneering, state-of-the-art researchers employing the most advanced analytical techniques. What I ultimately unearthed concerning the profound impact of targeted nighttime nutrition was nothing short of a paradigm shift. It fundamentally revolutionized my understanding and, critically, transformed the outcomes for countless older students under my guidance. One particularly poignant example is a woman I will call Margaret, who arrived at my retreat center at the age of 72, utterly reliant on a walker for even short distances. Her spirit was visibly burdened by the profound conviction that her cherished independence had vanished forever, irrevocably lost to the ravages of time. Her physical limitations were not just a practical inconvenience, they were a constant, painful reminder of what she believed she had lost. Yet, a mere 6 months after diligently implementing the specific bedtime nutrition protocol that I am poised to reveal, a truly remarkable transformation occurred. I received a phone call from Margaret, her voice choked with tears of profound joy and disbelief. She had just triumphantly completed a 3-mile walk, entirely unassisted, without her walker, and without any external support whatsoever. Her words resonated with an almost spiritual fervor. "I feel like I've been given my life back," she conveyed, her voice still trembling with emotion. "This evening, I am compelled to break my long-held silence and meticulously detail the 4 specific, yet surprisingly simple, foods that, when strategically consumed before sleep, collaboratively engineer an optimal biological environment perfectly conducive to robust muscle preservation and regeneration." This approach purposefully eschews the complexities of expensive, often confusing supplements or the rigors of extreme, unsustainable dietary regimes. Instead, it represents an elegant and profound collaboration with your body's inherent ancient rhythms, precisely furnishing it with the exact nutritional building blocks and activators it requires during the supremely crucial, often undervalued, regenerative hours of deep, restorative sleep. Misunderstood process. To fully appreciate the profound impact of the foods I am about to disclose, it is absolutely essential to first deconstruct and critically examine why the prevailing conventional wisdom concerning aging and the seemingly inevitable progression of muscle loss is, at its very core, fundamentally flawed and misleading. For generations, society has internalized a simplistic and often fatalistic narrative. Muscle deterioration is merely an unavoidable function of chronological age. We have been conditioned to anticipate a predictable decline, a seemingly irreversible process where, after the age of 50, an individual can expect to relinquish between 1 to 2% of their precious muscle mass annually, with this rate of loss often alarmingly accelerating once past the threshold of 70 years. This pervasive narrative, while widely accepted, regrettably serves the commercial interests of powerful industries that financially benefit from our growing dependency on pharmaceutical medications, an ever-expanding array of mobility aids, and a general medicalized approach to aging. It, subtly yet powerfully, encourages a mindset of resignation and acceptance of decline, creating a lucrative market for symptom management rather than root cause solutions. Crucially, this conventional storyline conspicuously overlooks and actively suppresses the wealth of groundbreaking, transformative research emanating from leading longevity institutes and scientific centers across the globe, which paint a vastly different, more optimistic picture. The true physiological reality is far more intricate and dynamic than a simple chronological degradation. What is genuinely occurring within the aging body is a sophisticated and highly complex interplay, a delicate dance between various biological factors. These include subtle yet significant hormonal shifts that impact tissue regeneration, the pervasive and often silent presence of chronic low-grade inflammation that sabotages cellular repair, and perhaps most critically, a profound disruption in the efficiency of protein synthesis. As we advance in years, our biological machinery, while still robust, progressively becomes less adept and efficient at fully utilizing the dietary protein we consume to effectively build, repair, and meticulously maintain our vital muscle tissue. Scientific studies have compellingly demonstrated that this critical efficiency can plummet by as much as approximately 30% by the time an individual reaches the age of 65. However, and this is a point of paramount importance that often gets completely overlooked, this decline in protein utilization efficiency is not a uniform, constant process throughout the entire day. Rather, it experiences its most dramatic, precipitous drop during the hours we spend in deep slumber. This pivotal distinction is precisely where the ubiquitous and overly simplistic conventional advice, "just eat more protein," utterly misses the fundamental mark and fails to deliver sustained results. The precise timing of when you consume your nutrients and the specific synergistic combinations in which they are ingested becomes just as critically important as the sheer quantity of protein itself, if not more so. During the nocturnal period of sleep, your body does not merely rest. It actively enters its most intensive, sophisticated repair and regeneration cycle. It is a period of profound biological renewal, where the intricate processes of cellular restoration are at their peak. Without the precise, readily available nutrients and biochemical activators required for this immense task, your body finds itself in a precarious situation. It's akin to operating a highly specialized repair shop, but one devoid of the essential tools, skilled labor, and fundamental building materials necessary to complete its vital work. Consequently, instead of embarking on a restorative journey, your muscle tissues are subjected to an ongoing, subtle deterioration, compounding night after night, week after week, and year after year. This insidious pattern of progressive weakening, despite seemingly adequate efforts, became a recurrent and disheartening observation among many of my senior students. They were conscientiously adhering to all the right health practices, engaging in regular exercise, making diligent efforts to consume wholesome, healthy foods, and ensuring they met the recommended intake of protein. Yet, despite their best intentions and consistent efforts, they continued to witness their once reliable strength inexplicably diminish and their functional capabilities erode. It was against this backdrop of persistent, perplexing decline that my research took a critical turn. I stumbled upon groundbreaking investigations from Japan's esteemed National Institute of Longevity Sciences, which delved into the revolutionary concept of dedicated nighttime muscle preservation. Their meticulously validated findings did not just challenge conventional understanding, they utterly shattered it, compellingly pointing towards a profound yet remarkably straightforward solution that had been patiently hiding in plain sight, awaiting discovery. Cellular revelation, what truly transpires within the intricate biological machinery of your body during the hours of deep sleep, is nothing short of a miraculous symphony of cellular activity. While your conscious mind drifts through the landscapes of dreams, billions upon billions of highly specialized cells are tirelessly engaged in an extraordinary array of vital tasks. They are meticulously repairing damaged DNA strands, diligently clearing out accumulated cellular waste products, and rigorously rebuilding and regenerating compromised tissues across every system of your body. However, this complex, energetically demanding process of nocturnal repair and rejuvenation is not self-sustaining. It imperatively requires very specific building blocks and powerful biochemical activators. These are the essential substances that precisely trigger, enhance, and sustain the intricate repair mechanisms necessary for cellular health and tissue integrity. Without their adequate presence, your body, in essence, attempts to operate its critical repair shop without the necessary tools, skilled personnel, or fundamental raw materials to accomplish its vital mission. The outcome is inevitably suboptimal repair, leading to a net loss rather than gain. One of the principal orchestrators of this nocturnal repair symphony is human growth hormone, HGH, a profoundly important anabolic hormone. HGH naturally peaks in its production and activity during the deepest stages of sleep. This hormone is absolutely indispensable for the maintenance, repair, and rebuilding of muscle tissue, playing a central role in protein synthesis and cellular regeneration. However, even with optimal HGH levels, it cannot perform its restorative functions effectively without the precise nutritional foundation in place, much like a master builder requires premium materials to construct a sturdy edifice. Herein lies the true breakthrough, the point where ancient wisdom converges with modern science. Scientists have discovered that certain specific foods, when consumed strategically before sleep, possess the remarkable ability to create what is technically termed a muscle-preserving environment within the body. This profound discovery provides a compelling scientific explanation for why certain distinct cultures exhibit dramatically lower rates of age-related muscle loss and, consequently, enjoy significantly extended periods of functional independence and vitality. Consider, for instance, the vibrant island prefecture of Okinawa, Japan. This region is world-renowned as a prominent blue zone, home to an exceptionally high concentration of the planet's longest-living and healthiest people. Intriguingly, their traditional evening meals contain specific, time-honored combinations of nutrients. These dietary practices, passed down through generations purely by cultural tradition rather than by explicit scientific design, perfectly and inadvertently support the intricate physiological processes of nighttime muscle preservation. Consequently, Okinawan elders remain remarkably strong, agile, and fiercely independent, often well into their 90s and beyond, defying conventional Western expectations of physical decline. When I initially encountered this compelling body of research, I must admit to a significant degree of skepticism. If the solution to such a widespread problem was truly this straightforward, this accessible, why was it not common, universally accepted knowledge? The answer, upon deeper investigation, became starkly and regrettably clear when I followed the money trail. The global market for mobility aids, sarcopenia treatments, and associated medical interventions currently exceeds an astonishing $50 billion annually. Within such a vast and lucrative commercial landscape, there is, unfortunately, very little financial incentive, and indeed often active disincentive, to broadly promote simple, food-based solutions that individuals can readily implement themselves without the need for expensive prescriptions, complex medical interventions, or continuous consultations. The simplicity, in this context, becomes a threat to established profit models. Ancient wisdom, my personal odyssey toward this transformative discovery, began many years ago during an intensive period of study at the revered Shaolin Temple in China. There, I had the extraordinary privilege of training under the tutelage of Master Wu, a remarkable individual who, even at the advanced age of 92, could effortlessly demonstrate intricate martial arts forms and exercises that would present a formidable challenge to practitioners half his age. His profound physical resilience, unwavering stamina, and impressive flexibility defied virtually all Western medical expectations regarding aging and physical capability. When I, full of youthful curiosity and scientific skepticism, directly inquired about the secret to his seemingly impossible vitality, his response was not centered on esoteric herbs, mystical elixirs, or grueling intensive training regimens. Instead, his wisdom pointed to a much simpler yet profound philosophy, honoring the body's natural cycles through mindful evening nutrition. His teachings were steeped in the understanding that the body is a constantly regenerating entity, an intricate ecosystem that operates on predictable rhythms. The body rebuilds at night what it uses during the day, he imparted with quiet conviction. If you give it stones instead of bricks, how can it build a strong house? This deceptively simple yet profoundly insightful wisdom served as the catalytic spark that ignited my subsequent decade-long exploration. I embarked on a deep dive into traditional practices across a multitude of cultures, relentlessly searching for commonalities in how the most vital and long-lived elders approached their evening meals. What gradually emerged from this extensive cross-cultural investigation was a consistent and compelling pattern. a dietary blueprint that modern science is only now beginning to rigorously validate and fully comprehend. Across incredibly diverse traditions, from the ancient principles of traditional Chinese medicine to the holistic wisdom of Ayurveda, and even to the renowned health-promoting customs of the Mediterranean diet, specific combinations of nutrient-dense foods were intentionally consumed before sleep. These practices, honed over centuries of empirical observation, intuitively created what we now scientifically understand as the optimal physiological environment for robust muscle preservation and profound regeneration. Yet, it was not until I began collaborating with brilliant nutritional researchers at Copenhagen's esteemed Longevity Institute that we were able to precisely identify and meticulously document the intricate biological mechanisms at work, employing advanced muscle biopsy techniques which allowed for direct tissue analysis and continuous overnight metabolic monitoring, which tracked biochemical changes in real time. We were able to scientifically demonstrate how these specific foods dramatically altered the body's nighttime muscle protein synthesis. This is the critical, energy-intensive biological process through which your body diligently maintains, repairs, and actively rebuilds its precious muscle tissue. The objective results from this rigorous research were nothing short of staggering and profoundly encouraging. Participants who consistently consumed the identified optimal combination of nutrients before bed exhibited an astonishing increase of up to 34% greater muscle protein synthesis during their sleep cycle when compared directly to a control group over a sustained 6-month period. This statistically significant cellular advantage translated into tangible, measurable differences not only in overall muscle mass and raw physical strength, but most importantly in practical, functional independence, the very bedrock of a high quality of life in advanced age. Critical timing. Now, with this foundational understanding firmly in place, and before I meticulously reveal the precise 4 foods that make this extraordinary transformation possible, it is absolutely paramount to grasp the critical significance of the timing component. The entire effectiveness, the profound efficacy of this pioneering approach hinges entirely on a harmonious collaboration with your body's innate and ancient biological rhythms. The ideal, most potent window for consuming these muscle-preserving and regenerating foods is not arbitrary. It is specifically calibrated to be between 30 to 90 minutes prior to falling asleep. This precise timing allows for the initial stages of digestion to efficiently commence and proceed, ensuring that the vital nutrients are thoroughly broken down and readily absorbed into the bloodstream. Crucially, this strategic intake guarantees that these essential building blocks and activators are abundantly available and circulating within your system during the prime regenerative hours of deep restorative sleep, the very period when your body's repair machinery is operating at its peak efficiency. I have, regrettably, observed far too many individuals inadvertently undermine the potential benefits of this protocol by misjudging this critical timing. Consuming these nutrients too early means they may be fully processed and utilized by your body long before the deepest, most reparative sleep cycles even begin, thereby missing the crucial window of opportunity. Conversely, consuming them too late can lead to digestive processes interfering with the quality and depth of your sleep, which is counterproductive given that quality sleep is itself a cornerstone of muscle recovery. The sweet spot, the optimal moment, occurs when the peak availability of these specialized nutrients seamlessly aligns with your body's natural surge in human growth hormone production and the most intensive, active phases of cellular repair processes. You can conceptualize this strategic timing much like a seasoned farmer planning to plant seeds just before an anticipated nourishing rainstorm. By meticulously timing the planting to coincide with the most optimal growing conditions, the farmer dramatically increases the yield and ensures the vitality of the crop. Your body's physiological mechanisms operate on a remarkably similar principle. By precisely timing your nutritional intake to synchronize with your natural endogenous repair and regeneration cycles, you profoundly multiply and maximize the inherent effectiveness of these vital nutrients. With that critical, deeply understood foundation in place, allow me now to meticulously share the 4 specific yet surprisingly accessible foods that, when consumed consistently within this scientifically validated window, collaboratively create the optimal physiological environment for effectively preserving and indeed actively rebuilding your precious muscle tissue as you gracefully age. Essential foundation, the very first foundational food within this transformative protocol, might, at first glance, appear somewhat surprising, particularly because it has been, quite unfairly, demonized and widely discouraged within much of the conventional nutritional advice traditionally offered to seniors. Yet, paradoxically, this food is arguably one of the most powerful and effective tools at our disposal for robust nighttime muscle preservation. I am referring to high-quality, slow-digesting casein protein, a marvel of natural nutrition. This exceptional protein is found naturally and abundantly in common dairy products such as cottage cheese, rich Greek yogurt, and in specific, high-quality protein supplements derived from milk. The unique characteristic that renders casein so profoundly valuable is its sustained release profile. It provides a steady, gradual stream of essential amino acids into your bloodstream throughout the entire duration of the night. Unlike whey protein, which, while beneficial, is rapidly absorbed and quickly utilized by the body, casein exhibits a prolonged digestion rate, creating a consistent 6 to 8 hour supply of the critical amino acid building blocks that your muscles urgently require for their nocturnal repair and regeneration processes. This slow-release characteristic makes it uniquely indispensable during sleep, precisely when your body is in dire need of a consistent, uninterrupted supply of nutrients rather than a fleeting, transient burst. A landmark study, meticulously published in the prestigious Journal of Nutrition, compellingly demonstrated the efficacy of this approach. It showed that a mere 40 grams of casein protein consumed judiciously before bed resulted in a significant 22% increase in muscle protein synthesis during sleep when directly compared to a placebo group. For seniors, whose bodies are inherently less efficient at protein utilization, this translates into demonstrably better, measurable muscle preservation over time. The participants in this study who faithfully maintained this practice for a full 6 months exhibited significantly less muscle loss than their control counterparts, irrespective of their existing exercise habits, a testament to the power of targeted nighttime nutrition. What further elevates casein's efficacy is its notably high concentration of the amino acid leucine, which functions as the primary, most potent trigger for initiating and sustaining muscle protein synthesis. As we age, our bodies unfortunately become less responsive to anabolic signals, requiring a greater threshold of leucine to effectively activate this crucial process. While the typical threshold for young adults is approximately 1.7 grams of leucine, scientific evidence suggests that seniors may require a more substantial intake, ranging from 2.5 to 3 grams, to achieve the same optimal muscle building response. A properly portioned serving of casein-rich foods effortlessly provides this precise, therapeutically effective amount. My student, Robert, a former dedicated marathon runner, who had helplessly watched his once powerful legs noticeably wither despite maintaining a regular walking routine, courageously incorporated casein-rich cottage cheese into his meticulously planned evening regimen. Within a mere 3 months, he reported a profound and deeply encouraging change. The stairs in his own home, which had once presented a daily, formidable challenge, no longer did. "It's not just the physical change," he conveyed to me with a beaming smile. "It's the renewed confidence that surges through me, the sheer joy that comes with feeling strong and capable again." Inflammation defense, the second indispensable component in our targeted nighttime nutrition protocol, directly addresses a stealthy, often overlooked saboteur of muscle maintenance in the aging population: chronic, low-grade inflammation. While a certain degree of acute controlled inflammation is a normal and indeed necessary part of the muscle repair process following exertion, the pervasive presence of chronic systemic low-grade inflammation dramatically interferes with and actively impedes efficient muscle protein synthesis. It creates a hostile biochemical environment that prevents muscles from rebuilding effectively. This is precisely why the second essential bedtime food is wild tart cherries, or their concentrated, readily available juice. These remarkable fruits are veritable powerhouses of beneficial compounds, most notably anthocyanins, which are potent antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents. Numerous scientific studies have compellingly demonstrated that anthocyanins possess the ability to significantly reduce systemic inflammatory markers and combat oxidative stress, both of which are major contributors to muscle deterioration. A pivotal study rigorously published in the esteemed Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports provided compelling evidence. Participants who consistently consumed tart cherry juice before bed experienced significantly less overnight muscle breakdown compared to those in the control group who did not. What makes this finding particularly pertinent and impactful for seniors is the undeniable physiological reality that aging naturally elevates baseline levels of systemic inflammation. This perpetually elevated inflammatory state creates a constant uphill battle, a persistent headwind against all efforts aimed at muscle preservation. By specifically targeting and mitigating this nighttime inflammation, tart cherries effectively cultivate a far more hospitable, conducive biochemical environment within the body, allowing the vital muscle rebuilding processes to occur with greater efficiency and fewer impediments. Furthermore, beyond their potent anti-inflammatory properties, tart cherries are one of the rare natural food sources of melatonin, the crucial hormone that meticulously regulates our sleep-wake cycles. High-quality restorative sleep is not merely beneficial, it is absolutely non-negotiable for optimal muscle preservation and overall recovery. It is exclusively during the deepest stages of non-REM sleep that the most intensive, comprehensive repair work on muscle tissue and other bodily systems actually happens. By simultaneously improving both the quality and duration of sleep and actively reducing inflammation, tart cherries deliver a powerful dual benefit that directly and synergistically supports robust muscle maintenance and regeneration. I vividly witnessed this profound, dramatic effect in my extensive work with various veterans groups, where many former service members grapple with the debilitating twin challenges of chronic sleep disturbances and accelerated muscle loss. One particularly striking participant, James, had exhaustively tried countless prescription sleep aids, yet none had effectively addressed his steadily deteriorating strength. After diligently incorporating tart cherry concentrate into his evening routine before bed, he experienced not only a profound improvement in his sleep quality and duration, but also, notably, a significantly better retention of the hard-earned strength gains from his rigorous physical therapy sessions. For the first time in years, he shared with our group, a palpable sense of relief washing over him. I don't feel like I'm fighting a losing battle with my own body. Magnesium miracle, the third absolutely critical component in this comprehensive protocol, addresses a pervasive and often unrecognized deficiency that is estimated to affect a staggering 80% of seniors, a deficiency that directly and profoundly impacts fundamental muscle function and preservation. I am referring to the indispensable mineral magnesium. This ubiquitous mineral is involved in an astonishing array of over 300 vital biochemical reactions throughout the human body, an intricate web of processes that includes, crucially, the regulation of protein synthesis, the precise functioning of muscle and nerve cells, and the efficient production of cellular energy. As we advance in age, our body's ability to absorb magnesium from dietary sources unfortunately decreases significantly. This decline is largely attributable to age-related changes in gut function, a reduction in the production of stomach acid, and often the adverse side effects of common medications frequently prescribed to seniors. This confluence of factors creates a precarious, perfect storm where the aging body paradoxically requires more magnesium for optimal muscle maintenance and overall physiological health, yet absorbs considerably less from the very diet intended to provide it. The downstream consequences of this widespread deficiency are profound and far-reaching, yet they are all too frequently and mistakenly attributed simply to the generic process of getting older. These include debilitating muscle cramps, an alarming increase in persistent fatigue, and an accelerated, often perplexing loss of both strength and functional capacity. Dark, leafy greens such as nutrient-dense spinach are nature's unparalleled magnesium powerhouses and therefore constitute an ideal, exceptionally valuable addition to your pre-sleep nutrition protocol. A modest serving of just 1 cup of lightly steamed spinach provides nearly 40% of the daily magnesium seniors require, delivered in a highly bioavailable form that the body can efficiently utilize during the critical hours of sleep. What makes magnesium particularly valuable and strategically effective when consumed before bed is its crucial role in activating the parasympathetic nervous system, your body's intrinsic rest and repair mode. When this vital system is fully engaged and operating optimally, your body intelligently diverts precious energy away from stress responses and towards essential regenerative processes, paramount among which is meticulous muscle maintenance and repair. Furthermore, magnesium plays a significant role in regulating cortisol, the primary stress hormone. When cortisol levels remain undesirably elevated at night, it can significantly impair muscle protein synthesis and actively hinder restorative sleep. I vividly observed the transformative power of this principle at work with Martha, a 78-year-old woman who had been resignedly informed by her doctors that her persistent, painful leg cramps and noticeably weakening grip strength were simply an unavoidable part of getting older. After diligently incorporating magnesium-rich foods into her structured evening routine, she experienced not only profound and lasting relief from the debilitating cramps, but also a gradual yet undeniable return of her functional strength. My doctor was absolutely shocked when I showed improvement on every measure of physical function, she recounted with a mixture of pride and amusement. He was convinced I must have been taking some new secret medication. He could hardly believe it was just spinach. Collagen support. The fourth and final essential component addresses an often overlooked yet critically important aspect of comprehensive muscle function: the intricate connective tissue network that provides structural integrity and allows muscles to effectively generate and transmit force. This vital network is largely composed of collagen, the most abundant protein in your entire body. Collagen forms the fundamental structural framework for your muscles themselves, as well as for the tendons that connect muscles to bones and the ligaments that stabilize joints. As we age, the natural production of collagen precipitously declines, often dramatically. This decline compromises not just the superficial elasticity and youthful appearance of our skin, but far more critically, the fundamental structural integrity of the entire musculoskeletal system. This systemic weakening is precisely why nutrient-dense bone broth or other collagen-rich foods become an absolutely essential and strategically valuable inclusion in your pre-bed nutrition. They provide the specific, highly specialized amino acids, primarily glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline, that serve as the fundamental building blocks explicitly required for the body's natural synthesis of new collagen. What makes these particular amino acids exceptionally valuable and strategically potent when supplied at night is their crucial role in supporting what scientists refer to as tissue architecture maintenance. This refers to the preservation of the intricate, organized structural framework that allows muscles to function efficiently, transmit force effectively, and remain resilient under stress. Research meticulously published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine compellingly demonstrated that participants who consumed collagen peptides before sleep showed significantly better preservation of muscle function when compared to those consuming other types of proteins. The key difference appears to lie in how collagen comprehensively supports the entire musculoskeletal system, the intricate interplay of muscles, tendons, ligaments, and bones, rather than focusing solely on the muscle fibers themselves. For seniors, this translates into tangible, measurable improvements, not merely in raw muscle mass, but crucially, in practical, functional strength. The very kind of strength that is indispensable for maintaining genuine independence and navigating daily life with ease. Emily, an 83-year-old participant in one of our groundbreaking nutrition studies, diligently incorporated bone broth into her evening routine. After a period of consistent practice, she reported a truly heartwarming outcome. For the first time in years, she declared, her voice alight with newfound confidence. I can get up from low chairs without having to push myself up with my arms for support. Her sentiment encapsulated the deeper truth. It's not just about looking stronger, she articulated. It's about moving through the world with confidence again. Perfect combination. What elevates this meticulously designed four-part nutritional approach to such extraordinary levels of effectiveness is the profound way in which these individual components work synergistically, each element powerfully enhancing and amplifying the inherent effectiveness of the others. It's a beautifully orchestrated biochemical symphony within your body. The slow-release casein protein serves as the consistent foundational supplier of the essential amino acid building blocks, ensuring a steady stream of raw materials for overnight repair. The potent anthocyanins in the tart cherries actively cultivate an optimal anti-inflammatory environment, clearing away cellular debris and reducing the hostile conditions that impede muscle regeneration. The indispensable magnesium then steps in to activate numerous key enzymatic processes, acting as a crucial cofactor in hundreds of reactions, including those vital for protein synthesis and muscle relaxation. Finally, the collagen-specific amino acids provide robust support for the structural framework of the entire musculoskeletal system, ensuring that muscles have a resilient scaffolding upon which to rebuild and generate force efficiently. Together, these four components address the multifaceted challenge of muscle preservation and regeneration from multiple critical angles simultaneously, creating a comprehensive, holistic strategy. The practical application of this powerful protocol is remarkably straightforward and easily integrated into an evening routine. Approximately an hour before you plan to go to sleep, simply consume a small bowl of high-quality cottage cheese or Greek yogurt to provide the sustained-release casein protein. Alongside this, have a quarter cup of wild tart cherry juice or a small handful of fresh or frozen tart cherries for their anti-inflammatory and sleep-supporting properties. Complement these with a side of lightly steamed dark leafy greens, such as spinach, to furnish essential magnesium. And finally, complete the regimen with a small cup of nourishing bone broth or another source of collagen-rich food. This thoughtfully curated combination takes only a few minutes to prepare each evening, but sets the stage for hours of optimal muscle-preserving and regenerating nutrition throughout your sleep cycle. The inherent simplicity of this protocol is entirely intentional. The most effective and sustainable health practices are, by their very nature, those that individuals can consistently maintain over the long term without undue burden or complexity. I have had the privilege of guiding hundreds of seniors through the faithful implementation of this protocol, and the consistent, tangible results speak for themselves, resonating deeply with those who experience them. Not only do they report measurable and often dramatic improvements in muscle preservation and strength, but they also enthusiastically describe a significant, profound enhancement in their overall quality of life, spanning from achieving deeper, more restorative sleep to experiencing improved mobility, and perhaps most importantly, to a renewed, unshakable confidence in their physical capabilities and independence. Widespread misconception. Now, it is absolutely imperative that I directly address a pervasive and deeply entrenched myth that has, regrettably, prevented countless seniors from embracing and benefiting from this incredibly powerful and transformative approach: the irrational and unfounded fear of eating before bed. Conventional wisdom, ingrained in our cultural psyche for decades, has long issued stern warnings against nighttime eating, citing a litany of concerns ranging from potential digestive upset and compromised sleep quality to the dreaded specter of weight gain. This blanket, unequivocal prohibition against nocturnal nutrition has, ironically, inflicted tremendous harm by actively depriving aging bodies of vital nutrients precisely during their most critical repair and regenerative hours. The truth, as so often is the case, is far more nuanced and scientifically informed than this simplistic dictate. What truly matters is not the mere act of whether you eat before sleep, but rather the precise nature of what you choose to consume. The 4 meticulously selected components I have just outlined are specifically chosen and scientifically